This is the Life is Heavy podcast. This is your host, Heavy Hooks, aka Rodney Smith. And it's my belief that life is heavy. Life is burdensome. Life is stressful. Life puts pressure on everyone. So what are we going to do to make life lighter? What are you going to do? If you are a black person, you are a part of a community that has been downtrodden, been oppressed. So what are we going to do to change that? When are we going to look at ourselves individually and recognize that we are a part of a larger collective? That's what we're missing because we live in America where everything is so individualistic. We lose sight of the fact that we're only an individual because we're a part of a group. What I mean is, when anyone looks at any person that they do not know, they cannot look at them as an individual. They can only look at who they represent. They can only look at that person on the basis of the group that the person looking at them recognizes. So if I don't know a person that looks African American that's coming upon me, I can only view them based on the knowledge I have of their group of African Americans. I don't know them as an individual, so I can't accurately ascertain their intelligence, their intentions, or anything like that. All I'm left with is my knowledge of the group that this perceived person is a part of, which means all people need to be in charge of their people's image and education and political education. No other group of people needs to be a part of somebody's political education, political power, education, or image in the media. No one. Everyone must be in control of those things. So, in this podcast, you're going to hear me raising some black boys, conversations that me as a black father have with my black boys. And I know some of you may not like the term black, and that's fine. But until our collective changes the name that we call each other, I'm going to refer to myself and others as black or African American. I do understand that black people, African Americans, Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans are of African descent, and that people considered of African descent are indigenous to. We are the original Homo sapiens sapiens. I understand that. But until we collectively decide on a name that's not African American or black or Jamaican or Nigerian, I'm not going to refer to the people in any other way other than what we collectively call each other now. Understand that the people that are considered African American were never given a chance to decide if they wanted to become a part of the nation of the United States of America or not. And look it up. They were not. They were not given that choice. They did not have a referendum or a plebiscite to vote on whether or not they should be a part of the United States of America or their own nation. These are issues that we need to take up with each other, behind closed doors with each other. We need to look at who we are and who we represent and how we're connected to everyone else worldwide, internationally. We got to recognize that our brothers and sisters that are on other land masses are still our brothers, sisters, and cousins. They're not our enemies. And whatever stories we're telling ourselves about people that live elsewhere are wrong and created by people that are not us, because we do not control the media. What I'm saying is I've recognized that in the United States, the images we get of our brothers and sisters of African descent are negative ones. And they encourage us to believe the negative stereotypes of our brothers and sisters of African descent in the Caribbean, on the continent of Africa. These images, these stories that we get of our brothers and sisters of African descent are very negative. But we got to recognize this is not coming from us. Black people do not own and control the media. We have to know that. And the reason this is important is because we need to be coming together as a collective and fighting against those that will want us to fight amongst each other. Again, this is the Life is Heavy podcast. I'm your host, Rodney Smith, aka Heavy Hooks. And the point of this is for Black people to recognize their greatness, their power, and their responsibility to help out the Black collective, wherever that Black collective is. The point of media is to challenge the status quo, challenge what exists now so that we can get to where we want to be, which is a life where we're in control of our own destiny, our own media, our own nation. If the people you're talking to that are called leaders do not want Black people in control of their own nation, their own ability to educate themselves, their ability to control themselves politically and economically, then why are you considering them leaders? I am not claiming that I am that leader. I am claiming that I am one that's going to spread the message of gathering power for the people that right now are colloquially called Black people. We got to wake up. This is Heavy Hooks. You're going to hear some selections from the music that I make because I love making music. And I encourage all of you to engage with other people and talk about politics and economics and love and family and how we need to gather more power to make the needed changes that we say need to be made in our community. This is episode 1 of the Life is Heavy podcast.
I stepped to her with confidence, not here to cap, not here to play. Show her all my muscles, so she see that strong man. I get it through these storms and any accident. Let you know you're my opposite. That means you're my compliment. That means I'm strong enough for you to let go, relax and vent. Let you move in the spirit. Slow down, it's not a sprint. Complementary energies, too different, let's compress. These struggles are just lit, accurate, so we won't miss. Not a single question we won't diss. Waiting on that special moment when we embrace and kiss. Third eye, I see it. And when our lips meet, it will be straight bliss. My one love. Oh, yeah. My one love. She's my one love. Yeah. The one that I'm looking for. She's my one love. One love. One day she'll walk through my door.
I know. That's why I said that.
Life is Heavy podcast. No names, just tell me how old are you?
15.
15. Has anybody in your life ever sat down with you and asked you about the future of Black people? Because both of y'all Black, right?
Yes.
Anybody asked you to think about a plan for the future of Black people?
No.
No.
No, for you either?
No.
Do you think that's important?
Yes.
I don't even know.
Okay, cool. All right, so this is my question. Can you name any rappers?
Any?
Any? Can you?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yes.
With no problem, correct?
Yeah.
What about Black historical figures other than Martin Luther King, Nat Turner, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, Harriet Tubman, Ella Baker? Do you think that a lot of Black youth know about Black rappers or Black drug dealers that's been to jail?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
right? Do you think that the Black youth look up to Black men who are willing to die for their own principles and beliefs, whatever they are? For example, if you like Moneybagg Yo, do you respect him because he's willing to say whatever it is he wants to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? What about you? Do you get my question?
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
So this is my theory, and I want to get your comments on it. My theory that I think it's on purpose that Black youth only get people who go to jail that are entertainers to stunt your political growth, so that when you become adults, you can't figure out why you're so poor. Because do y'all understand that black people and Native Americans and Hispanics are the poorest group of people in the country?
Minorities, yeah.
What a problem? Okay, the problem with that is when you say minorities, do you know who else that includes other than blacks, Hispanics, and Asians? You don't know what I mean, do you? Foreigners. Who else though? White women.
How is a white woman considered a minority?
Because they've turned minorities anybody that's being oppressed. That's the problem I have with minorities. So you heard of affirmative action?
Kinda. It's been so long.
So it just means it was these policies that were meant for black folks, because black folks went through slavery and Jim Crow and all of that crap, right? So they came up with affirmative action to specifically help black people get jobs and get into college, right? Yeah. But you know who ended up benefiting the most?
White people.
White women and gay men. Because they say gay men and white women are being oppressed. Do you understand? So that even proves my point even more, that you don't even understand. The point is, if you don't understand these things that I'm talking about, when you get older, how are you supposed to fight it if you don't understand it? I'll say it a different way. If we playing football and you're on offense and the defense is running a cover 2 and you don't know how to play an offense to beat a cover 2, what's going to happen? What's going to happen, David? Because you play football. If you're on offense and you don't know how to defeat a cover 2, what's going to happen to your offensive production?
They not going to be in order or whatever.
Will you be able to score well?
No, they not going to know what to do.
You're going to suck. Okay. So now do you understand? If you don't understand that if you don't understand how America is being racist, then how can you beat it? Do you understand? If you are on offense and you don't know how to beat the cover 2, can you beat it?
Nah.
So if you grow up and you're an adult now and you're poor and you don't understand why, then can you fix it?
Yeah.
Go explain.
It's called get up and go get a job.
So I'm gonna use what you just said.
Or use
if we're on offense and we don't know that, if we don't know how to beat a cover 2, does playing harder help you beat the cover 2? Because that's what he's suggesting, correct? When he says get up and do more, does get up and doing more in football help you beat the cover 2? David, you play football. If instead of telling you how to beat the cover 2, I just say, play harder, David. What are you doing? I'm sorry, but they don't still don't know you.
Nah, because...
Why doesn't playing harder help you?
Because you gotta get the technique down first.
Do you understand? For example, you know basketball, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know how to beat the 2-3, how does me telling you play harder help you beat the 2-3?
It don't. It's a defensive stop every time.
So now do you understand? If you don't know how you're being defeated in America, then how can you as an adult beat it? So when you're poor, you ain't gonna understand why, because you just told me you don't even know the economic system. So do you see now how that connects to the cover 2?
Yes.
It's real simple, ain't it?
Yeah.
All right, so back to this. So that's religion, right? Now I just said economics because I asked you the economic system, correct? You don't know it, do you?
No.
Do you think most youth know it?
No.
Why don't they know it? Why don't y'all know the economic system?
It's in school.
Negative. That's not why. You're close because what?
You don't have a technique for it.
No. My question is, why don't you have the tech? Why don't you know it?
It's never been taught.
Thank you. It's never been taught, so how could you know it? What's the one thing the youth love and hate it when older people criticize it? Give me one thing. I mean, I know it's a couple. What's some things that older people are like, why are the youth all into that?
Trap music.
He can read my mind. He can read my mind. Now, this is my theory. You hear what he said? I ain't just focusing on trap. I'm just saying most rap. Most older people are like, why are the youth into that? And this is what I want to say. I started off asking you about rappers, right? And it's a reason why. A lot of rappers have went to jail and prison, correct? And the youth look up to them, right? And then older people would be like, yo, why are you looking up to these people that went to prison, correct? Yeah. Why are you looking up to these people that sold drugs and did all these things, correct?
But the youth, since they don't get a good education, they can't come back with this. Hey, mama, have you ever looked up to Martin Luther King? And what would you think your mom or dad or grandparents would say?
Yeah.
Then you could say, he been in jail.
That's true. That's true.
This is my point. The system has flipped it to where the only people you look up to are entertainers. So that the only knowledge you get comes from an entertainment perspective, so that when you have economic and political problems, you can't solve them. Do you get what I'm saying? They want your mind so full of games and rapping and singing that when it's time to figure out why you ain't got no money, you don't really care. You just want to fill your head up more with music. Does that make sense?
But that is how some people make it out too.
I don't understand what you mean. I don't. I'm being for real. Explain what you mean.
Like music and entertainment is how some like you said, black youth. That's how some black youth make it out. Instead of like taking like an actual career, they take music and they take other stuff like that.
Good. Now I agree with you. And this is the problem. The point is that you can't become a successful rapper. The point is, if we look at the numbers, what's more likely to happen? You becoming a teacher, lawyer, or doctor, or getting a recording contract? Which one is more likely? Do you know?
Like with the career?
No. Let me say it a different way. What's more likely? You getting a you becoming a professional athlete, or you becoming a doctor, lawyer, or teacher, or police officer? Which one?
They're all equivalent.
No, you don't know the statistics. Let me break it down. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So the more likely you get a job of being like a doctor, lawyer, or something like that is because
why is
how like today how people is, they don't know, they not, some people not like me. Before I came to Indiana, I didn't know I was capable of doing stuff because I didn't find it in my head or I didn't try to use it. But and some of these people, they think that they not smarter and stuff, so they be like, oh, so I'm gonna just either rap or I'm gonna just make it in sports because that's what I'm good at physically. But some people don't know what they good at mentally. So
no, that's true.
I think that.
But hold on, but I'm not trying to be rude. You're correct in everything you said. But my question is, why is it true that you're more likely to become a doctor, lawyer, teacher, cop, fireman than a professional athlete or a professional rapper? Why is that true? Okay, let me break it down for you then. How many NFL teams are there? 32. 52 on the roster.
Right.
52 on the roster, 32 teams, right? Right. How many people in America?
Oh, wait.
It's millions, right?
Like 7 billion, not 1 point. No,
it's
7 billion, I think.
It's something like that.
Yeah, 6,
but
7
hold on. So
you said
even if it's a billion,
the world.
Because it's billions of people competing for those jobs, right? It's only 32 teams, so numerically, is it possible for a lot of people to become a football player?
No.
Now, do you see?
Yeah.
Numerically, wouldn't it be more plausible that you become a teacher or a lawyer or a doctor?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
It's just way more opportunities.
Yeah.
Because think about it. Of those 32 teams, you're only going to get some that's going to retire. What else? What else will stop somebody from playing? We got retirement, injuries, suspension. Now, does that leave a lot of opportunities?
No.
Because on top of that, you got the best players that's coming out, right?
Yeah.
Then you got the people overseas you compete with. Now, do you see how tough it is?
Yeah.
How does that change when we switch it to getting a recording contract?
You got to get noticed first thing. Basically.
No, but you're forgetting. So, okay, let's say you get noticed. Who else is trying to get noticed?
Everybody else.
Do you get my point now?
Now everybody trying to be a rapper and come up and stuff. But like with knowledge, that could get you far, like very quickly. Like once you like start applying for colleges, take tests and stuff, and they look at your recordings and you taking them tests, they see how smart you is. So like it's more likely you getting accepted because it's gonna take some time for you to come up in the rap game because it's a lot of competitors out there that actually like been through stuff that they can rap about.
My man said the key word: competitors. So this is my point. When people talk about business, now hopefully you can understand based on what we just talked about, why would it be hard to, let's say you had the money to start a business like a McDonald's or a Burger King. Why would it be hard for you to compete with a Burger King or a McDonald's?
Because those food chains have been around longer.
So what do you have to rely on? What do people have to do in order to make your business successful then?
Advertise.
No. No, I'm saying
Get the word out.
No, I'm saying what would the consumer have to do to make you successful?
Buy your stuff.
Give you a chance.
Which means if they buy your stuff, they're not. So if I'm not McDonald's,
they're not a competitor.
No, they are. That's my point.
People who buy stuff from you?
If I run a fast food chain, that means if they buy from me, they're not. No. Think about it. Okay, I don't exist right now, right? Where am I eating for fast food?
You don't eat. You
Thank you. Wherever it is, right? Yeah. So now I create my business. If someone chooses to buy from me, that means they're not. Correct. Now do you get what I'm saying, or you still don't get it?
I do, kind of.
So okay, let's peep game. Me and you, all three of us, we start a business like McDonald's. We'll call it David's, okay? In order for us to be successful, we gonna need thousands of people to stop eating at Wendy's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, and eat with who?
Us.
David's.
Which means we're gonna need a lot of money to wait on them fools to eat where? With us. Do you understand? Because not only that means we advertising. Is that free? That means we spending millions of dollars to wait on consumers to eat with us. Does that make sense? The reason I'm bringing up all of this is because this ties into why so many people are poor, is because they don't understand the economy. Which means the more you spend time playing games, not studying history and politics, the more frustrated you're going to be as an adult. Because when you're an adult, you think you're going to be in a place like this by yourself. Hell no, you're going to be struggling. And you think somebody going to care? The only reason they care now is because you are what?
Minor.
Exactly. Do you understand why the system now don't change? Think about it. I told David this. If we look at percentage-wise, who is locked up the most?
Us.
Now, when they get locked up, David, tell him, where's the prison located? Geographically, is it in the heart of the city?
No.
Where's it at?
It's like out in the country.
And who live there?
White people.
No, nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. Tell them again.
A lot of white people.
Who lives
in rural country areas?
Oh,
who live
yeah.
out there? Who lives out there?
White people?
White people. You're not getting the connection, are you? If black people who live predominantly in the city get locked up and then they move their bodies to the country, who you think working there?
Oh, no.
See? Now you get the game?
Yeah.
Who working there? Say it.
White people.
So who benefits from black bodies going to prison?
The government.
And?
White people.
Yes. You don't think that's important to know? Think about it. If the majority of poor people do illegal activities that make money, that increases of their chances of going where?
Prison.
And where is the prison again?
Around white people.
Which means it's going to help them white people get
money.
Yes. Do you understand now? This is the game. Not only that, there's another thing you don't know about prisons. Is slavery legal?
No, but in the prison
it is.
Yes. It's because of anybody that goes to prison is considered a slave legally.
Yeah, that's why they be having like working out in the field and stuff.
Yeah, so when they're in prison, they're working for major companies.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Like growing crops and stuff, I think.
Not only growing crops, building stuff too.
Yeah,
building stuff.
Picking up trash.
No, forget the picking up trash. When you in school, who you think make the desk? Prisoners.
True.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. Yes, fact, but you don't know where the factories are. They're in prison.
Most of our stuff, literally almost everything we have says made in China.
Not all of it though.
Most of it though.
A lot of it is made by prisoners. Because how much do they pay the prisoners?
A day.
A dime.
A day per time.
Like, yeah, it's like 10 cents or something. If you was a company, would you want that?
No.
What? Wait a minute. If you could only pay your workers 10 cents, you wouldn't want it.
And you're making like millions of dollars, bro.
You must not understand. We own a McDonald's. You don't want to pay your workers 10 cents? If you paid your workers 10 cents, what would that mean for you as the owner?
I will have more money.
Now, do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
You were thinking as far as moral and ethically. You're like, nah, why would I want to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is that how these people are thinking?
No.
They want to exploit and rape. Now, do you understand why these conversations are so important? My bad, I'm almost done.
You're fine.
I just know that y'all black males, y'all getting older, and nobody usually talks to y'all about this. And I'm telling you, as you get older, you're gonna want stuff, but you're not gonna have it. How do you think? Were we enslaved at one point, black people?
Yes.
How do you think we got out of it?
More of us.
By learning the system.
More of us doing what? Yes, learning the system, and then doing what? How did we learn the system? What did we do?
Got more engaged.
Yes, but what does that look like when you say more engaged?
Like concentrated to like what was going on. Start reading books and stuff.
And then what? Is okay, let's say I just read a book. How does that help all the black people get out of slavery? One person reading a book.
People just gotta like comprehend. You gotta comprehend what you're really reading and what you're.
No, I know. Let's say I read a book, and then what? How does it get to everybody
For
else?
some reason, I thought like slavery. I thought slavery ended because.
No, my question. But how did it end? What happened?
But that's how I think of it. Like weren't like isn't an abolitionist a person like that?
It's against slavery. They want to end it. Yes,
yeah. So
correct.
I think that a black person like found an abolitionist that like know what's going on, that could teach them how to read, because we didn't know how to read back then.
Good
so
one.
like they start reading books on information how slavery worked and stuff like that.
Yes, and then what?
So like later on in time, so black people could stand up for themselves.
Okay, let me say it to you again. It sounds like you said a black person found one abolitionist and then magically.
No.
It's just you.
Let me put it in there. Let me put it in there. Yeah, and now we get in there. Let me put it to you this
It's
way.
just like social media. Like if
yes, explain. Because
Like-
this is
it's like when stuff hits the news, it blows up everywhere.
but why?
Like coronavirus.
But why?
Right.
Why?
Because there's so many people connected to it.
That's the point I'm getting to. Now, let me rewind something because you're kind of right. Does social media make people more social?
No, but
Yes.
What?
no.
Okay, let me say it a different way. Social media makes people come together and actually talk and be social?
Social media make people anti-social.
Thank you. So then how you think slavery ended then? By people being
Social.
yes. Which means we organize. That's what we don't do now. Right now, we three people organize.
Talked about slavery.
Correct.
So they,
How you think people became racist? Now, you was here when we had this conversation with my man that's not here. And he tried to argue with me. And I said, remember, how you think people became racist? And what did he say? White people what?
I forgot.
This is common sense.
People felt hate towards colored people.
Oh, so that's it. So one person feels hatred and then magically...
White people came together to say, like,
Thank you. Correct? Ain't that common sense? How else could it spread?
just like the.
Am I right? And what is it that black people do not do? Social, but in reference to racism, what do they not do though? Socialize about
White people.
and how they are. You just said it.
Towards black people.
A
Why y'all-
racist?
thank you. Yes. When in your family have you had a family meeting and somebody was like, yo, how we gonna end this racism? Matter of fact, what is racism? Let's define it. What kind of racist system is it and how can we end it? When have we had meetings like that? Never, correct?
Never, because I come from a mixed family.
Which means it should be even more responsibility on you then, correct?
Me?
No, not you, your family. If you said they're mixed, right?
Yeah.
Which means they know you're going to be looked at as a black man or a white man.
A black man.
Which means they know you're going to face
difficulties.
Difficulties because of racism. Do y'all get what I'm saying now?
Kinda. Well, basically, yeah.
The point is, we all know that racism exists, but black people are not organizing to talk about how to end it. And instead, white people are talking about how to keep it going.
I think that black people now, they go off of now events. They don't look at the bigger picture.
So you agree with me then? Because I agree.
Because like the Black Lives Matter movement, I mean, they just look at it as black people are being mistreated, but it's more to it than that. I feel like it is.
I agree. But remember, my point was, are black families discussing it and trying to figure out how as a collective we end it?
No.
So how can we end it? Until we do that, correct?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, look at if the youth are stupid, what's going to happen when they're adults?
Stupid.
So then how can they end racism? If the youth think reading is boring, what's going to happen when they're adults?
We're gonna watch videos.
No.
But if we're talking about black youth, what does that say about black people?
If you watch videos, you ain't gonna learn it yourself. That's why people like use dictionaries instead of the internet these days, kind of.
But my question is this: if they're not reading as kids, what you think gonna happen as adults?
They're not gonna.
They're gonna be up. They're not gonna want to read when they get older. They not gonna have the dedication to read.
What's that gonna say about black people? How they gonna get out of their situation?
We ain't got no dedication. We don't work hard for what we want.
I mean, I disagree. I think they do work hard for what they want.
I know, but when a certain person, like when white people look at how they look at, like, that's gonna change how, like, I mean, we already know how they look at us. Like, they look at us as like just empty minded.
Let me be rude. I'm sorry to be rude. So then, if you know this and most black kids know this, why are y'all steady playing games? Why are y'all steady so bored when somebody want to talk to you about who you are and where we need to go?
I'm
Let
not.
me get him. I'm gonna come get you.
Me as a person, I ain't bored at it. It's just sometimes, I just don't like to hear about it sometimes. But even though I should, because that's my history.
All right, so you saying because it don't feel good?
And sometimes, I mean, we play the game because, I mean, it's like,
because it feels good.
Yeah, and games not always bad because it could get people like out of the streets and stuff, out of like doing bad stuff.
Oh, I agree. But am I wrong for saying you play the game because it makes you feel good and you can escape whatever you're going through?
You said, is it what?
Is it true that when people play the game, it feels good? Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
And does it help you escape whatever it is you're going through at the moment?
Just a little bit, but you still gonna feel it because you can't run away from your problems. You gotta talk about it.
No, right now you're just saying that because, logically that's what I'm looking for. But am I right? Because I've yet to see anybody play the game and say, "Oh, I'm gonna stop because I need to get at something else."
No, I'm not saying that because you want me to say that logically. I'm saying that because remember you was just talking to me the other day when I said I want to quit therapy, and you was like, "What you gotta do? Like use your words." And basically you was saying you can't run away from like what they trying to tell me or like how they trying to give it to me.
Right? No. But my question is, remember my question was, are people thinking that when they're playing the game? I'm asking you, are people playing this game to escape?
Yeah.
Thank you. Because I agree with you. If I wouldn't have said that, you might not ever have that thought because it hurts to go through certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, when we're running, don't you want to stop because it hurt?
Yeah, but I gotta keep going.
No, that's not what I'm asking. Because even for me, I want to stop.
Yeah.
Isn't it true?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to get to the point that if we're not honest about why we do things, how can we change it?
Just be honest.
But that's what so be honest. That's why I say don't give me some logical spin. When we hurting, what do every person want to do when they hurt? Stop.
No, stop.
Thank you.
Escape reality.
Again.
Like,
hold on, I'm gonna come back to you. Keep that thought. Now, what was you gonna say?
Cause like when y'all was talking about the game temporarily it gets you away from everything, but the game ain't gonna forever fix your problems. So you really, people do it just to escape reality, but you really gotta come back and deal with your problems because.
But my question is that what people doing? We live in a society where people are like, oh, I'm gonna stop. Let's go figure out these problems.
No, but really, some people do it without thinking. Not all.
What
people.
What you mean?
Like me,
Okay.
the way I deal with my problems, I play basketball, and then after that, like during basketball, I will think about the stuff that's like currently going on, and then after that, like I got more time to process it because it relieves all the emotions and it gives me like a chance to actually sit there and think instead of just thinking or acting off of emotions.
Okay, was you gonna say something like that then? Did you hear what he said?
What?
No. Say it again. You remember what you said?
Which part?
That playing basketball gives you a chance to process what you're going through.
Yeah, basketball, like it relieves all my emotions, and then like while I play basketball, I can think about the situation, but I won't actually sit there and process it. And then afterwards, like your baby, like for me, when I get done playing basketball, I feel drained. And instead of thinking off of emotions like I hate this, then I also like when I get done playing basketball, I think about it like it happened for a reason, or the reason everything is happening, and like it just gives me more time to stop thinking off of emotions instead of just like
Just think more logically about what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got like something that do go with that kind of like when you said give you like the true like answer of like, do I want to stop running when I'm running? Because when I wake up and like you got me on that type of path, like where I wake up and you wake us up early and we start running and stuff, and we like that get me in the mood to like just keep going, grinding, dedication and stuff like that. And you said when you play basketball or whatever, like you think about the stuff that happened and stuff like that, and it happened for a reason. That's the same when I'm running and stuff. Like when you like say you like all these like for these past days that we've been running and stuff, and you would be like, or you would tell me saying, I never complained about it. I just like I just did it because I know like I gotta grind hard to where I'm like to get to where I want to be. And like I feel like stuff happened for a reason because God put that obstacle in your way. You just gotta you gotta deal with it, because that's what life gonna do to you. Like you gonna have a lot of obstacles, and you gotta keep passing the test.
I agree. The only reason I was bringing this up because I know we live in a society where people tell you can't be tired, you can't admit that you're weak. So as soon as a moment like that comes up, people automatically be like, I'm okay. Think about it. How many times people ask you if you're okay? And I would bet my life that if I asked you the majority of the time, what do people say?
I'm okay.
I'm straight.
Which means you never get a moment to be weak and be like, nah, I don't feel good. You know, give me a break. You know what I mean? Because we need to heal as black people. My theory is, if we always saying we okay, then we don't give ourselves a chance to heal. So that's why I didn't run yesterday or today, because I know our bodies got to heal. And so do our minds. Does that make sense? Because we go through so much and we never get to talk about it. Think about school. You only get to talk about what the teacher want to talk about. Right? You don't get to read what you want to read. You don't get to watch the videos you want to watch. You don't get to write about what you want to write about. Even when you start learning history, you don't even get to learn about your own history. You learn about somebody else's. When in your life do you get to do some stuff you want to do? And I think that's what drives more people to play the games or be a rapper or whatever it is they want to do. Because when in your life as a kid, you get to do what you want to do. You feel me? And we don't get to talk about these things, so people just be more and more frustrated and think about it. Then when you turn 18, you think you're going to listen to somebody? You like, what? You can't tell me nothing. I'm about to have fun because all these 18 years I've been a kid, I ain't never get to have no fun. Screw black people. What have black people done for me for my first 18 years? All black people ever did was leave me and hurt me. Am I wrong? But we gonna get to talk about it, which means we don't get to process through it. Does that make sense? I'm here. Like I think my goal in this world is to help us heal, and we can't heal unless we go through the things that hurt. Does that make sense? Because I never had nobody talk to me and ask me what the heck I think as a kid. You feel me? Don't y'all think that's important?
Yeah, but I had that.
Go ahead.
But I had that, but I don't no more. So now it's just like everything, like me. I'm the type of person, well, like I'll let you know what's up, but then like I'm not gonna sit there and tell you like how I feel about the situation, or like if I did something wrong, I'm the type of person that I'll tell you what happened, but I'll leave out part of the story. Not on purpose, but by accident. And like sometimes I just be thinking to myself, like all the pain that like I go through now will only make me better as a man when I grow up, because like I think about my pain now and felt like I just think about how I could flip that and maybe help somebody who in the same predicament I am, but later on in life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I think that's good. What was you saying?
It was like when stuff like that happen, like obstacles early in your life teach you how to like it gets you stronger and like mentally strong for like what's coming in the future. Because it's a lot of parents out here stressing into their kids that life is not easy.
I know. And that's the thing for me, like my dad used to always tell me that, why you gotta do this and you don't really have to? Why do you do this and why do you do that? And then he always tells me like he can only voice what he has to say so much because he's been there, done that. But in all time, like he just used to say, you'll see and you'll be preaching the same thing that I'm trying to teach you, and once you actually process it, you're gonna look back like, dang, my dad told me all of this, I just never wanted to listen. And like he didn't lie. Like I just look at the stuff that he told me and I just look at myself like, wow.
But at least you had a father to tell you that. Think about the people that don't get that.
Yeah, but I ain't got that no more now.
I mean, you ain't
I
got
never
him.
I never had a mom to tell me anything. So like the way I look at it as the main person that could tell me like to do this or do that is gone. So I look at it as, if you try to tell me to do something and like, or like say I'm mad or something and I'm trying to clear my head and people are trying to get me to come back to the situation, I'm just gonna pull a card like, you're not a parent to me. Like I'll use that card on authority figures. You're not a parent to me, so therefore I don't have to do anything that you tell me to. But like as I'm getting older, I'm starting to see like it don't really have to be like that.
But that's good. What you mean then?
That's
good.
what I'm saying.
You're
Yeah.
grown. That's good. Good job. Say no more. Say less. Is that what y'all say? Say less. That's good. Any final thoughts? All right, that was good. Thank y'all, man. That was good. That's gonna be a good